You guys at Hornby, do you guys realize that that joke on April 1st was an April Fool's Day joke and not a prediction of the future? What's wrong with you guys? Yeah, John Lanning with IPMS for Crook. Yeah, I know. I started this channel as mostly model kit reviews and stuff like that, but I did, specify that, and occasionally we might talk. There'll be some concerning modeling news, events, stuff like that. Well, this is news. Uh, this is news concerning one of the OGs of the modeling world, Airfix, and uh, the situation concerning Hornby, and it's not positive. Um, there's a lot that's happened in the past couple weeks, and yeah, I don't know. I, I wish I could say it was better than what it is, but it's snowballing in a reverse direction. So, well, what am I talking about? I don't know if anybody's really paying too much attention to what's going on. I mean, it's bad enough that Airfix is has been was revived about not even 20 years ago when Hornby purchased it, the name, and revived the brand basically. Also brought back Humble Pants and all that, but it seems like the situation that uh, that Hornby got itself into, it's only compounded to become worse. Um, my understanding, and I'm sure people probably have better information on this, but my understanding that the situation concerning Hornby started about roughly the same time as the London Olympics. So, um, I guess Hornby decided they were going to get into Olympic merchandising for the London Games, and they trying to get a cut of that pie, and unfortunately, the cut of the pie wasn't as much as they expected, and they end up losing money. And ever since then, they've been treading water. They've been doing it kind of like a Disney, buying up smaller companies left and right, trying to shore themselves up, and the situation hasn't really improved that much. So, there were rumors about the possibility Airfix might get sold off. I've been hearing those last couple years now. And then Man's Models, he came up with a joke on April 1st, basically stating that Airfix had been sold to a company known as Primera Aprilis. And of course, if you look at the date and the translation, it was April Fool's Day, April 1st. Well, some people did take it seriously because some people were aware of the situation and thought, well, maybe this is positive. Damn, it was a joke. So, anyway, it turns out that Hornby is being office spaced. If you don't know what I mean by that, there was a movie that came out back in 1999 called Office Space, and the story centers around an employee by the name of Peter, who's just basically, I mean, he was a dependable employee, but kind of a standard. I mean, he wasn't real in tune with EA company kind of thing. He tried to avoid his boss every Friday because his boss wanted him to come in during the weekends to do some overwork. He was having some personal issues and stuff like that. It The situation kind of changed when he had a incident um with hypnosis, and basically his mindset completely changed. Basically he just didn't care anymore, and it's pretty hilarious, because his interactions with his boss and all that are completely 360, and it's funny. Um, but one of the sub stories was this contracting group that his company brought in, and of course the subcontractors, their job was to find um, redundancies in the company, things that can be improved, things that can be cut. Basically, they were trying to downsize the company. And this consulting group was led by two guys by the name of Bob, and in the movie they were known as the Two Bobs. So anyway, part of the story is that these two Bobs will call individual employees to the office, and basically, I don't remember, and let's not get political about this, but remember, I think about a year or two ago when Elon Musk was sending questionnaires to his employees, basically stating, "What do you do? What have you accomplished for this company lately?" Stuff like that. And basically, that's what the interview was. They were asking employees, "What do you do? Um, uh, do you have a clear mission in your company?" Stuff like that. And it some of the reactions were just quite hilarious. And including the interview with Peter, to where he showed up, just didn't care, and he got promoted. Meanwhile, other individuals who wanted to stay on till retirement or were actually doing their jobs were being canned. So anyway, it seems to me that's the situation going on with Hornby. They are getting office space right now. So, but anyway, going back to what we were talking about here, I guess a couple weeks ago, there's a guy on YouTube by the name of Moss 6510. His name is Moss Miller. He's in the UK. Um, he is a model reviewer. He's a big fan of Airfix. I mean, I hear one guy call him a fanboy, and it might be right. I don't think there's an Airfix kit that he's never met that he didn't like. But he does reviews, and he does have a channel on there known as Airfix and Chill. And of course, on his opening deal, there's the Airfix logo on with Airfix and Chill, and the background he's got Airfix kits and stuff like that. Well, uh, apparently a couple weeks ago, Airfix did to him what we would call here assist and deceased letter. He was ordered to take down the Airfix logos off his website or off his page, and they asked him not to display Airfix kits in background anymore. For somebody, and my understanding is that this guy actually had a working relationship with Airfix. This was a big blow, and for he kind of went away for a little bit, tried to decide what to do. He's back now. But yeah, it's very, very strange thing to where um, an individual who is a very, very big cheerleader for Airfix. I mean, if Airfix, back then, if Airfix told him to put on a cheerleading uniform and go with pom poms during the review, he probably would have done it. Now, if you're looking for a visual inside of that, imagine me wearing a cheerleading outfit and pom poms. Now try and get that out of your head. But anyway, yeah, this guy was deep in Airfix, and now to have uh, a uh, a model brand that you love, you cherish, basically tell you, yeah, off with you. Yeah, that might have some effect on it. Now, there's other channels there too that did display the Airfix logo or stuff like that. My understanding is none of them have received any notification to get them removed. I guess there was an assumption that Moss was making money. I don't know. I don't think he was making money off the review stuff like that. I don't know if Airfix is paying him, but either way, he's been disassociated with Airfix by force. Um, so, um, and he's taking it quick. He's taking it, and I know he's pissed because I saw him. He was on another live stream about a week ago, and he was brandishing a Heller do rag. So yeah, we know what's happened here. So anyway, there's that. So his channel is back up. It's no longer Airfix and Chill. It's now Scale Model Chill. He's already done one stream, so, but he's back and all that. But there was the first indication. The second indication came from another modeler in the UK by the name of Miss Modeler, and she announced that is it Dale Lockhurst. I'm sorry, I have to write some of this down here. There's a lot to unpack here, but Mr. Lockhurst left Airfix and went to Heller, which bit of an irony. Um, and she sounded kind of positive about that, but apparently there's more going on in the background that wasn't a lot of two. Um, but she said that he's left Airfix. He's gone to Heller, and it looks like Heller's you know, looking to move forward, and we'll probably get more of that later on. So anyway, there's that video. And then I just saw another video from Man's Modeling, and he was more direct about what's going on in Airfix, and it's not good. Basically, what happens is, of course, as I mentioned there, um, Hornby's brought in a consulting group. There's a couple of individuals, there's a few individuals there known as the Transformers, and they were going through pretty much every section of Hornby cutting. And apparently their fix is on their fix right now. And the story that he has mentioned is the fact that Lockhurt was actually fired, and a lot of the staff, a lot of the senior staff that was working with him at Airfix has also left, and some of them have gone to Heller. So yeah, that's not a positive indication right there. Now, there's other projects in which they were working on. Lockhart's only been there for a few years. The change in their fix has was going on before he got there, but he was more into the communications phase. He spoke to modelers. They had the web page in which he was on. Basically, just trying to bring more modelers who are more in tune to the internet into modeling with Airfix, and it seemed to be that he was succeeding in that. But apparently they showed him the door. So, and that again, that's not a positive outcome on that. But anyway, a lot of the projects Airfix is working on now, they did release the JU-52. There's already reviews online. They released the Saladin. However, they did announce that apparently there's an announcement by Hornby that some of the projects that were slated for release later on this year have been pushed back. And then, of course, there was this flowers project that I've heard about. I haven't seen much of anything about it, but apparently Airfix is planning on releasing a line of model flowers. Um, for me, that's kind of confusing because you don't build flowers, you grow them, and it's much more safer to grow flowers than it is to build a model flower where you got to use paint and stuff like that, and where your respirator and all that. Meanwhile, if you're growing a flower, the worst part about it is the fertilizer. But I don't know, maybe it's just me. I kind of expected that if they were going to go a route, they would have went with wild animals. You can't grow a Tyrannosaurus Rex or a cougar. In fact, I don't think a Tyrannosaurus Rex exactly exists anymore. But back to the story here. Um, Apparently, the Flowers Project has been canceled. Of course, it's no longer on the website. No information on it, so it seems like that has been shelved. So what does this mean? Because you know, Man's modeling, he was quite direct in this, and it wasn't positive. And he seems to think, and I kind of agree with him on this. He's like, one or two things is going to occur. Um, he doesn't think that Hornby's going to be able to pull out of this, and it'd probably be a couple of years. Hornby's finally going to crash and burn and take Airfix with it. Same situation when Heller and Airfix about 20 years ago when their parent company went out. The second possibility is that they're doing, they're slimming Airfix down, getting rid of the fat and all that, trying to make, trying to get the uh, more coin out of the company, make it more profitable, and then they're going to sell it off. Hopefully that's the case. But again, the future is not present. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. But we've already lost a lot of the old G's. Monogram's gone. Um, technically, technically they're gone. I mean, Revell owns the name Monogram, but there's no Monogram line. You got Eshe, you got Ertl, Matchbox, Aurora. So many kit companies gone by. Now, let's be positive about this here too. Whenever one company falls, there are always one or two more companies that take its place. You got Special Hobby, you got Edward, you got ICM, you got Modelsvit, you got Mini Art, you got Hobby Boss, Trumpeter. So many other companies have taken a place. So, but the thing about it there too is that when we're talking about nostalgia, Hobby Boss kits don't bring back nostalgia. Models Vic kits don't bring back nostalgia. Monogram kits do. Airfix kits do. So there's that, and basically we're talking about Intune for the older modelers, like my old ass. So anyway, that's still the story at this point. I'm going to post the links to the 3 videos that I alluded to so that you can take a look at that. Again, if you have not seen the movie Office Space, I recommend you find it. I recommend you watch it. That dark humor is great, and oddly enough, it kind of fits in the way today is when it comes to the workforce. So, anyway, if you find that movie, go ahead and watch it. If you have any questions, any suggestions, anything like that, if you want to start a conversation concerning this, list the stuff below, and yeah, I'll get back with you on my thoughts and stuff like that. I mean, my thoughts already been out, but hopefully things get better. But it's life. So, anyway, y'all have a good night.